Hey, good evening, everybody. This is CmdrAleon, host of the show Encounters, a spiritual UFO talk show, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. And we are going to bust the Matrix. The Matrix tried to bust us, but the commander sees everything, and we're going to bust the Matrix. We're going to bust the illusions, the pollutions, and we're going to come up with the solutions. We are amped up. Hey, Johnny, good to see you. Hey, Pete Starr. Kissa, Connoisseur, thank you for the likes. We're going to get up to 100,000 likes tonight. I know we're going to do it because we're going to have a lot of people out here from all over the universe, at least on planet Earth. Welcome to the show. Hey, Susan, good to see you. Blessings. Nightbird, blessings to you. Ruby, Catherine, Nicole Carter-Jones. Hey, Susan, thank you for the roses. Springtime's coming, so I can put those roses in some water and make them grow. I will make them grow. All the roses, for sure. Thank you, Susan. We love the roses. Hey, Diane, good to see you. Some beautiful people coming in. Hey, peace, love, and light to you, Marinette, out there on the West Coast. The commander is back. And we talked to our dear friend Athena tonight, my friend in LA that I've talked about. And she's watched my show. She doesn't have TikTok, but she watches my show. And she's a commander. You had some stuff going on. And I took care of it. I told her I took care of it. Me and one other person, we took care of it. And we are definitely, she told me, I said, I'm kicking butt. I said, she told me that there are going to be these forces, last-ditch effort, Athena told me. They're going to try to make people think a certain thing is going to happen. And I told her, no, we're going to kick their butts. The ones that are deceivers of what's going to happen, the contact that's really going to happen, those that want to deceive the planet Earth, we're going to kick their butts. We're going to take charge and kick their butts, right? And we were talking for probably 45 minutes. I hadn't talked to her in a good while. But she's the person from Venus, Athena. She's watched my show through a tablet or something, maybe. But we're going to just kick some butt, And everything we do is with love, but with discernment, And I do think that there are differences in the ET realms. We carry our light with us. Athena reminded me, she says, Commander, you carry so much light. You carry so much of the light for the command on the planet. So you're going to attract everything, including those that might not be who they say they are. And I told her, I'm hip to that. I know that's going to happen. I said, I'll kick their butts too. I don't care who they are. Hey, Lavola, good to see you. Food in Sync, Alex, good to see you, Alex. JP, everybody coming in the house here on the Cosmic Ship. This is Encounters, a show that's out of this world. It really is. And we don't know who we're going to talk to tonight. My show from last night can be seen. Now, last night, I thought I had signed off of TikTok. I did go to sleep. I didn't go fall asleep for 9 hours on here. I went to sleep thinking I turned off the thing and it was on pause. So when I got up in the morning, I pick up the thing. I said, what's going on here? Find out I had 9 hours of broadcasting after I went off. And then I restarted my TikTok. Normally I've kept it always on. I restarted it and everything was fine. So for some reason, I pressed the wrong button, which I don't normally do. So like all kinds of people saying, are you all right, Commander? Is everything okay? I'm absolutely fine. I slept just the way I needed to, but not realizing I was still online on TikTok. So I have no idea. Maybe I was just holding the energy for a few hours and I was sleeping. But all is good. Good to see everybody here. And our co-host is going to be on, and we're going to kick butt. I told Athena, me and my co-host, we just cleaned house. We just cleaned house. Hey, sometimes it's me, and we're going to make sure that people know and that the ET realms know that if you're not of the positive light, don't try to contact me tonight. I'm good at rhyming. If you're not of the positive light, don't contact me tonight. If you're not of the positive light, don't contact me tonight or any night. How's that? That's pretty good, isn't it? I'm pretty quick, aren't I? Hey, Betsy, good to see you. I'm a galactic rhymer, and I can do it in time, anytime, anywhere. You name it, I'll be there. That even rhymed too. I can't stop rhyming tonight, I better stop while I'm ahead. Hey, everybody. Woot this. Good to see you. Laura J., thank you for the likes. Johnny of the third kind. Beautiful Minds, Joshua, Nightbird, Diane, Andrew, everybody coming in here. Let's amp it up. Let's, share it with people that we know are positive. We're not going to have any negativity ever. If we find, and our moderators, if you find anybody coming here negatively, just block them. We're going to boot them out. There's no place for that in the Encounter show. We're going to uplift, elevate, to be the cosmic truth, interview people. And when we have to do some cosmic healings, we'll do that too, with the Christed levels as a conduit. So for people new to the show, I'm the man from Mars, 10 to 15 million inhabitants on Mars. I'm also a conduit for the Christ consciousness, meaning I have off and online have helped people, and people here will witness the fact that last year I helped a number of people as a conduit. I didn't do anything. I was a conduit for the cosmic Christ, and I helped people that have been healed from the palm of my hand. The Christ used the palm of my hand to heal people. Absolutely true. There are people here that remember it. They know it. They've been healed from it. I do absolutely nothing. I'm in service to the mission. That's all I'm here. Service to the mission. All right. I work with the Ashtar Galactic Command, and that's another thing. If any negative ETs try to fool around with the Ashtar Command or me, we're going to kick you in the butt. See, they get kind of like, what's the word for it? They get kind of ignorant. They kind of think, oh, we'll fool the commander, and we'll fool the commander really good. Doesn't work. I've been around the block too many times to be fooled. You know what I mean? No worries. I got your back. You got my back. We got each other's back in the light. And that's the way it is on this show. We all love each other and we help each other. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. Yeah, they do, Mystic Marvin, Karen. They do. They do. But I am so amped up here. I have such a clarity of consciousness. If you can feel the energy, I am very clear. And those that have been duped, they'll need help. Only if they ask for it. Wherever they are around the world. Nikki D, good to see you. I feel tremendously. Hey, I'm glad you do. Atrusum, New York City. Hey, Mary Ahern. Philip Otten. Naked Hanger by Justice K. Thanks for the likes. Carol, good to have you in here. Everybody in here. We are going to bring it up. Let's get it over 100 people before 11:30. We can get up to 200 people on the nighttime show. You know who your friends are. Invite everybody that you know is of the light, of the cosmic awakening. One Toyota, good to see you. Thank you, Johnny. Athena reminded me, and I reminded her, even though she's quiet, she does her mission work internally. She reminded me tonight that I hold a great deal of light for the command on Earth, and I plan to be the best representation of that light. You helped those people the last couple of nights. Great job. Thank you, John. Gary Haas, love from Iowa. Lori, hello. Good to see you. Lisa, good evening. When you have to help people, you don't have to, but when you're in the mission of helping people, like last night, it's not like it takes a lot of energy, but after you help somebody, what I always do is do a cleansing. I always send the energy back up to the Creator because I don't want to hold on to anybody's energy. I never do. Even in my workshops, I won't do that. It's not good to do that anyway. Teresa, good to see you. Mike, good to see you. Yep, gotta. John Thornburg. Etheric Mystic, thank you for the likes. Etheric, thank you so much for the lightning bolt, because I feel like a lightning bolt tonight. The commander will see through everything and anything. That's the one thing the cosmic jokers don't understand. That's why they're afraid of me, because they can't touch me. Can't be touched. Hi, Commander. Well, we'll do those thoughts you were taken on. Commander, we thought you were taken on. Oh, Dawn, I might have been, when you say taken on, whatever it was, it didn't take me anywhere. I am absolutely here 100%. There's nowhere I'm going unless I really want to go, and I know where I'm going. I am not going anywhere. And if I do go on a ship, I'll know with my group that it's going to be a ship of the highest frequencies of light. Commander will not go on just any ship. It has to be a galactic Ashtar Command spaceship connected with the galactic groupings of the Co-Federation, which is the Ashtar Command, or else I'm not going on that ship. The light will always prevail. It comes to shine the light for us to see truth. Some comments, okay, let's see here. So it's good to be here. We got the apple cider going. I got the earbuds charging up. I like wearing my earbuds on my show, but they have to be charged up for 15 minutes for full power. Ships are coming. Prepare yourself. Star Runner Infinite. You're absolutely correct. The real ships are coming. People should prepare themselves, and we have to help people do that. Hope all the star people are enjoying the evening. Dawn Renee, thank you for the heart. I appreciate all your gifts. Oh, your love. Prepare One Pro. Anthony Sack, welcome to the show. Sherry Hovater. Welcome, Sherry. I see all of you. I see everyone. I am so clear in my frequency right now. Watch out. The commander's on fire. And hopefully we will have John on, not John, what are we talking about? James. Hopefully we'll have James on here if he's out there. Where is James? I don't see him in here, but he should be here at some point. So hopefully James will be here to join me. I don't think he's podcasting tonight, but we'll see. So we like to do interviews with people from outer space, people that are on planet Earth. We're just an intergalactic broadcasting system. That's right. We broadcast in the far reaches of the universe, on spaceships of light, and right here on Earth, through your telephone systems. Through your TikTok systems, anyway. It's a good thing. And as we prepare for so many and beautiful things, thank you there, Pete Starr. I appreciate that. Hope everything's going well in Ireland. Floyd Brown, Janad Love, good to have you with us. And I know we're going to have some good interviews tonight. I don't know who they're going to be yet, but as long as you have 200 followers, you'll be able to come on live and talk about your encounters, visitations, UFO sightings, your crop circles that you've seen, Sasquatch. We get into that as well a bit. And good to see you, Janad Love. Blessings. Brooklyn Lynn, Gilly, all the beautiful people. Dave, too. Good to have you with us, Dave, too. Ossie, I think it is. Karen Stevenson. Jimmy Bowman. Just Melt, 77. Darlene, good to have you with us. All these beautiful people. Navy Squid. I'm looking at all the names. Debbie. Eric Pierre. Mosin 1. Trish Shelton. A lot of new people here. So welcome to the show. Melly, welcome to the show. This is Encounters. Aline, good to see you. Hi, blessings to you. User 880. Deborah D. Peggy Godwin. Lisa B. Christine Voyers. I can probably do a rap song with all these names, but I'm not going to do a cosmic rap song right now. So this is Encounters. I'm CmdrAleon. I'm with you right here. And we are going to have a great show tonight. Great people, which is you. And if you're just new to the show, Venus, welcome to the show. Hopefully Mars will show up. We have Venus in here. I'm waiting for Mercury to show up. Danny, welcome to the show. You know? Just Blaze 27. Hey, Venus, happy Friday to you. Unnecessarily necessary. It could be unnecessarily necessary. You're absolutely right about that. Clifford, welcome to the show. I'm just, it's just amazing, all the good people here. Thoughts manifesting. Mary Ahern, Karen Mantu, Emigi, Deborah D, thanks for joining us. Bridget, welcome to the show. Looking at all these names here, I better stop doing that. All I know is that welcome everybody who's out there to the show. Hey, Shrimp, if you've never been on Encounters, you're in for a show that's out of this world. You might even think you're on a spaceship right now. Just imagine yourself being on this global spaceship called Encounters with the commander at the controls of the spaceship. And as you're in here in the spaceship, as we take off on a journey together, we explore many different areas of the cosmic universe. Encounters, visitations, spaceship sightings. And everyone has a story to tell, don't they? Everybody. They all do. Every single human being out there does. Jessica J. We're bringing Jessica J. Let me see here. Jessica J., welcome to the show.
Good evening, Commander. I hope you're doing well this evening.
I am. Can you bring yourself on the screen with a real person?
Oh, I am not done up at all right now.
Why is it that
I've
I always
actually
catch
got
people
some
unprepared?
acne mask on my face too, because apparently.
Oh, that might be interesting.
Apparently, at 43 years old, I still break out like a teenager.
That could be like an ET moment for everybody to see that. No, I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah, next time I'll make sure I'm more, appropriate for screen.
No. Well, but anyway, welcome to the show. And what would you like to talk about as our first guest?
So I know I've done a couple stories in here before, and I'm sure most people, when they were kids, were, pretty exploring. I was always very interested in everything. So, my mom could see that. And when I was young, I'll tell my first story of seeing anything, just so you can kind of see where everything is at. I'm sitting in my bedroom with my mother because I never slept. I was one of those kids that just did not take a nap. And we're sitting there looking out the window. We lived really close to Mount Tom. This is in Lake Holyoke, Northampton, Massachusetts. And she's like, "Hey, Jessica, come over here and look at this." And she points to the horizon of the top of the mountain, and you could see all the different lights up there. They've got some different towers, for military use. They've got radio towers, different things up there, weather stations. So she was like, "You see that light up there?" She's like, "What do you think that is?" And I'm like, "Is it a plane?" And she's like, "No, I don't think so." She's like, "Isn't it pretty close to the mountain?" And I'm looking at it and I'm just like, yeah, that's really weird. And we watched it, kind of sit there and hover around one of the lights that was right on top of the mountain. And then it would kind of move over to one side and then hover a little more and then move over to the, go from left to right, but it was still hovering. And my mom's, explaining to me that this is not a normal plane activity and that what we're seeing is something out of this world. So, she always, we grew up Roman Catholic. So of course she's telling me about aliens the same time as the rapture and all that stuff. So you can imagine me sitting in school in 3rd and 4th grade, just thinking about this stuff whoa, So fast forward to when I was a teenager, we moved up north and, still in Massachusetts. And we were sitting there one day and I had just gotten out of my friend's, like, house, and we were hanging out, having a great time. My mom had to come pick me up and, ruin the day. And I was like, oh man, she's like, I need you to go shopping with me. I need you to go shopping. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll go. I'm like, but I'm not going in. I'm just going to sit in the car. So, I'm sitting in my mother's car, and it was dark at the time. And I'm sitting there, just listening to the radio, like counting the minutes down till, she comes back. And I see something in the sky, and I'm thinking, oh, wow, that plane's pretty low. And, we were on top of a little hill, but I'm still like, yeah, that seems pretty low. And I'm watching it,
Yeah.
and it kind of moves over where you could see like the town a little bit below. And all of a sudden, a huge beam, just of like white light came shooting from
Yeah.
this craft down to the ground. And
Wow.
my eyes widened, and I ran out of the car, left it running, left the keys in there, and ran into the store. And I got in there. I was like, Mom, I saw a UFO. I swear I saw a UFO.
You didn't
Like a beam
run
came
to the
out of
beam?
it.
Was it like a beam to lift you onto the ship? What kind of beam was it?
Yeah, it was like the traditional beam, it was like concentrated at the top and then went out. It wasn't super wide. It was more like a
Right.
little,
Did you
tunnel
feel like a
thing.
sense of, did you feel afraid or did you feel excited?
I was excited. It was like a mixture of everything. Like I said, I knew what to do, and you never like left the keys in the car, never mind like at night, and took off. I left her car totally unlocked. The car door was open. I ran inside, and
Mm-hmm.
she was like all mad at me because I had just left the car. And at that point, I'm sure she wasn't thinking like, hey, you saw something,
And
extraordinary.
what would you have done if the car was beamed up and you were like looking at the car from the store?
I would have been like, oh, well, I guess we need a new car.
And if your mom saw the car being beamed up, I wonder what she would have done.
I, at that point, she probably would have been a little more shocked than I was.
You're
And,
right.
of course, I went into the store, and I was, telling her to hurry up, come back outside. And of course, we went outside, and there was absolutely nothing to be seen. But every time I
Yeah.
go up that area, I still think of it. And I've seen a lot of different things in that area of
Mhm.
Western Massachusetts. It's pretty close to Westover Air Force Base. So I
Oh,
like,
okay.
I feel like they kind of check that area out because I'm always seeing things in that area since I was a kid. I had seen something just driving on the highway, and I just happened to look over, and this huge beam of light shot at me instead of down,
Oh my
and then it just
gosh.
disappeared. And of course, nobody else saw it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, why am I always seeing these things and there's no one here to, verify?
Right. Absolutely. It's a weird thing. Like when I remember years ago, it was winter. We were visiting some cousins, my wife and I, in outside of near Sturbridge. I think it was near Sturbridge for some reason. Uh, it was really cold. I saw four golden lights. They weren't jets or planes or anything. It was just really cold out. There was snow, a good amount of snow that had been on the ground. I'm looking back at the lights, and they say these are four spaceships, four golden lights. These lights were definitely spaceships, and they were the most beautiful energy I felt ever. And I don't think I ever told that story, but you remind me of the story. It was probably in the late 90s. I think it was the late 90s. We're up there in that area. It was either there or somewhere in that area. And all I know is I saw these four spaceships in synchronicity. All four of them were like in like a just a real pure golden bright light. Each one of them. It was just amazing.
Yeah, all the interesting things I've found, like, excuse me, all the really interesting things I've seen and, experience have been on my own. It's like a couple of years back, I was swimming in my pool. We have like a really nice setup in my backyard, and I've got like LED lights around the pool. And, I'm sitting out there and getting mad because they put these super bright lights in, and it really cancels out being able to see the stars where I am.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there kind of hiding behind a bush to avoid the glare so I can watch for like a meteor shower. And all of a sudden, here we go again. I see a weird craft moving the way planes don't move. And
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh, just kind of frozen. My phone was across the pool, so I would have had to like, turn the opposite direction and go get it if I was going to record it. But, in the moment, I just didn't want to take my eyes away from it. I watched it until it, kind of went out of sight. But I'm like, it's always, and then 5 minutes later,
Yeah.
my husband walks out. I'm like, yep, that's always how it is.
He says that's always how it is. Yep, life, that's always how it is with you, isn't it? You always have to see a spaceship.
Yep. And, like I said, me and my mother have seen spaceships many times together, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody else that I've been with that, have seen it. So I think that's
Yeah.
like our thing.
Wow. And you've had numerous sightings. It sounds like you've had, well, I know from the last interview, you've had many, many sightings of different types of ships and the ones, did you ever get to videotape any of those sometimes you can't because it's so spontaneous.
Yeah, I
You
know
see
I
something
do
like that.
have the one that like me and my mom, we had a tumultuous relationship now. You have to
Yeah.
understand that, I love my mother, but she was always very like adamant about things. So the fact that I had left her car like unattended, she was pretty like upset at me, but I didn't care because I was like, oh my gosh, like something crazy is going on. So, I think it's
Yeah.
instances like that she really like believed what, I was seeing.
Yeah.
And this one night we had been fighting. So I like went outside to have a cigarette and I'm sitting there looking, toward the woods where she lives near mountains. And I
Mhm.
see a light and I'm like, what the heck is that? I'm like, is that in the woods? And I see it moving and I'm like, there's no way someone's like in the woods, like with a flashlight, it was around this time of year and who wants to be outside? So I get out of the car and I kind of back up and I'm like, oh, it's a light in the sky. It's right above the mountain. So I kind of, walked out toward the road and noticed it again was a craft. And it's
Mm.
just kind of like, moving left to right, almost like the other one that we had seen. And I'm like, oh my God. So I get all like excited and running and I'm like, Mom, you have to come out here. I was like so mad at her. I couldn't even be next to her. I had to go outside and decompress. But of course, here I'm running in, Mom, you gotta get
Yeah.
out here. So we grabbed the video camera and, drove out to the road where you could see a little bit better and proceeded to watch it for about a half hour, just go, further from us, closer to us, left, right. And then it finally just kind of dipped back down past the horizon where it had originally come from, which is totally weird. You know what I mean? Like
Mm. Yeah, definitely,
if it was anything, it wouldn't be going back to that area because that's kind of like the area of Massachusetts where there's a lot of state forests and mountains and things like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, if it was returning somewhere, it would be returning back toward the city. If it was like a helicopter or, a plane would obviously just be passing by. It wouldn't just be in the same vicinity. Like planes don't do that. So,
So this is the thing going out towards the woods, and I know that area of Western Mass, that is a perfect area to have that kind of activity of spaceships or the extraterrestrial energy. It seems like, it seems that is what the space beings sometimes might go over a city like Springfield, but they're more apt to be out in the woods near an Air Force base or out in the
the
areas where the
hilltops.
hills and mountains are.
Yep, it's crazy because, like I said, that one area is just so full just of all the strange
Yeah.
things. I also saw the Northern Lights. I was sure that night that the aliens were coming to beam us up because I'm driving down the highway and just right in the middle of the sky, there's all these colors of beams like shooting down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like sitting there talking to my friend. I'm like, we got to pull over. We got to pull over. So there's like the Waitley Diner. It's like popular. It's been in like TV shows and stuff.
Oh,
We
wow.
pulled over and we're watching it. And there's like a whole like 75 people or something in the parking lot. Like, I guess everyone had kind of known that, the Northern Lights were going on, but we were just teenagers. What did we know back then? So I
Right.
thought aliens were coming, but it was just the Northern Lights.
Well, the Northern Lights spaceships come from the Northern Lights sector. People don't realize the Northern Lights beings, they live in the Northern Light. I have no idea. I'm just making that up. But yeah, the Northern Lights are beautiful. I saw them in Vermont back in the 70s, pulsating lights that were like, we're laying down on the campus on the grass looking at the lights. They were pulsating like out. It was pretty amazing. And, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, you can see the pictures, but until you experience it, it's kind of mind blowing for, you know, just us to see like the, solar particles coming in and charging up the
Yeah.
atmosphere. It was crazy. And now
I
the
saw
air
a
is,
video of the sun the other day. It looks like they caught on a video a spaceship sucking energy from the sun, and it shows it all the sun energy going into this huge ship. It must have been pretty big. And then the video shows it. I don't know if it was a NASA footage or the Soho footage or whatever it was. It shows the ship detaching from the sun's energy and just taking off. It just disappears. I saw that. I don't know where I saw it. I saw it somewhere. It might have been YouTube or I don't know what it was. I was observing it, like observing the video and trying to figure it out. And it looked real, but again, I wasn't totally sure.
yeah. See, I do have a video of that craft that we captured, but I've been trying to find it because we take a lot of videos of stuff, so I had to go into my backup computer, and that's kind of slow, like accessing
Yeah,
things. So as soon as I get that video up, I'm going to post it on YouTube, though, because I made sure I've
yeah,
got my
definitely.
YouTube channel, so I'll send that to you when I finally get it up. But it was just one of those balls of light where it kind of changes color. Like I know there's stars that do that as well, but the stars only move in
Mhm.
one direction at night. They don't go back and
Yeah,
forth and, just disappear like that quickly. So
no, it is true. There's just a lot of that goes on. And people that have never had sightings here on encounters, you will eventually. You never know where it's going to happen. You can be on a trip in the Bahamas, and you could be in Europe somewhere, in Switzerland, or anywhere in the U.S., and you can have a sighting. I mean, and I'm not talking about reverse engineered stuff that our government's doing or any government's doing. I'm talking about real non-terrestrial sightings of like spaceships. And if people, take the time to look, they will be able to see. I love Commander Many Learnings Unearth the Awakening. Thank you, YT. So I think it's really important that people now get themselves in gear. Everyone should create a C5 group. If you don't have a C5 group anywhere in the world where you are, get together with some friends that are pretty mellow and people that are open and create a C5 group. How many people out there are using C5s? Like Jessica, you're in an area, you a lot of stuff you do yourself, but I guarantee, well, you have a lot of sightings, so they just seem to show up, for
yeah.
you. It's like you don't have to go anywhere; they're right there. You're just like, oh, here we are. Here's Jessica. Let's show her some beams coming down out of our spaceship.
Yep, they're like, this one's awake. We'll show up for her. I
We'll
feel like
show
they
up
do
for
show
her.
up for the people that are like willing to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's just, and I think it's really important. One of the things we train people in Connecticut here is to know the protocol of contact. And I think people have to use discernment. They're gonna have to learn a lot now that things are happening. Know which the positive ETs, which aren't positive. There's probably less of that negative ET thing, but still there's residue of that on our planet still. So we have to make sure that people are very well trained in the dynamics of contact in order to know what they're doing. And
Yeah,
I
and
think
it
that's
helps
going
you
to
to
be key.
go with your intuition too.
Yeah.
That's been my lifeline. My little affirming dot just popped up in my vision. That's what it does. If I'm talking about something where I'm questioning or, making a statement, it's a reaffirmation.
Yeah.
So it's, it keeps you aware of things, like my newest thing that has developed is I'd get that reaffirming thing when I was kind of questioning things in my mind. It started actually in the shower, which a lot of my encounters revolve around water also.
Oh, wow.
So I'm in the shower thinking the deep thoughts as you do. And, I'm questioning things and I'm like, how you talk to yourself and you're like, is that right? And this light would go off. I'm
Right.
like, oh, like I just, after a million times of seeing it in the same context, I'm like, okay, this is my little reaffirming thing. So I
Right.
kind
A
of ask
confirmation.
questions and it would pop up. But now it seems like it's happening even more and more. And now there's a little white dot that pops up. And I think that little
Hmm.
white dot is my, like, light that pops on when maybe we're not going the right direction, or maybe it's like a false claim. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I'm developing human lie detector.
Human lie detector. What you're developing is the ability to use a real complete discernment of what cosmic things are good and what things are not so good. And that really goes for, in our discussion we're having, it's really important that people really learn discernment on this thing, because things are going to get things are going to get really crazy now. My friend Athena in California told me, people need to be aware that there's the negative ETs, for example. They're going to use a last-ditch effort to try to hoodwink what's going to be happening soon. But the thing is, they can't stop it. And the thing is, not only can they not stop it, there's enough of you out there. And when I say you, I mean people watching this and people that aren't even here. There are millions of people that are very, very awakened, that are very, very much in their light, that are very, very much attuned into the understanding that we are now in a final battle. And I've never said this before, but get ready, folks, because we are in the final battle to liberate this planet more than you even understand. And
Absolutely.
the beings that want us not to be liberated are going to go after anyone that is liberated, and that's here on the mission of light from other planetary worlds. People that are starseed, you call yourself light workers, starseed, Christed beings of light, whatever you want to call yourself, whoever you are, if you are fully awakened and you are no longer being controlled, they are afraid of you. These other beings, they're afraid of you. They have
Oh,
no
yeah.
control over anything. They're in a last-minute effort right here on planet Earth. They want to see this planet under control for another 10 million years. It's not happening. And if I have anything to do with it, it's never going to happen.
Yeah,
You know?
I've been one of those people where my entire life I've always been ready to stand up for what I believe in no matter what. I used to, back when they'd have these scenarios, my mother would be like, well, what if you had someone tell you, like, hey, you need to believe this or we're going to kill you? I'd be like, oh, sorry. We will unalive you. I was like, hey, I will do what I need to do to stand up for what I believe in. These days everyone's
Right.
like, don't say this, don't say that, don't cause a conflict, don't
That's
cause a scene. And it's like, hey,
what's the scene.
if people don't say something, nothing is ever going to change.
Right. And that's actually true. And that's why I am so amped up now. That's why my clarity is so clear. And that's why I also understand that we are going to kick the butt out of the negative ETs that are trying to still stick around here on Earth, implanting themselves in different places to try to create havoc. That's what they do. That's what they want to do. If they can create the havoc, they're going to try to control the narrative. They can't stop the planet from ascending into a higher state of frequency. It's already doing it. They have no control. They have no power. The only power they have is if we give it to them. We don't give it to them. We have our own power. It's called light power. Everyone
Yeah,
here has light power, and I'm
that's
amped
another
up.
hard. I was gonna say, is that something that you've had to deal with in your years? Like,
No, I mean,
yeah.
I had to recently deal with it in terms of knowing the difference, and I'm really pretty tuned in to know what's happening within myself and out myself. But I know that we have to watch out for cosmic jokers on the planet that are gonna try to joke you. I'm too aware, and when those jokers think they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, it's not gonna work ever. Because now that I'm totally aware, I learn very quickly when things happen. It doesn't last very long. Um, I know that we all have to be aware of our surroundings. I put a bubble of protection on everything I do, including this broadcast. I have the Ashtar Command protecting every segment of this airwave on this broadcast when I come on now. Because, you have to. It's the thing you have to do. It's the thing that's important to do.
Yeah, I've always
And
find it's been difficult because in my experience, being a being of light, like I was saying in the comments, some people don't want that light to be shown on them. If they're doing something sketchy or dishonest, a, a lot of the times, like I would find those people out and they were like,
Yeah.
oh, we don't want to be around her because she knows what's going on. Not many
Right.
people can get things past me.
That's
So,
that's what the ones that know they can't get it past you. That those are the ones that people have to understand something. When we have contact soon, and it's going to come soon with the real positive influences of our star people from other planets. This is what people understand. At the same token, that's going to be happening. There's going to be other agendas on Earth to try to prevent that from recurring. Okay? They're going to try to take the light working community around the world and twist everybody, this way, that way, confuse them, and try to think, oh, we'll just confuse all these so-called la-di-da light workers and starseed people, wherever they are on Facebook, here, whatever they are. We're gonna kind of do something to make them all confused. Not happening, because we're gonna kick their butt. See, I'm fired up now, and you can tell, Jessica, I know you know your thing, and you know who you are, and you're gonna kick their butt too.
oh yeah, I think
You're gonna kick
the
butt too.
evil beings, they know not to mess with me. So I'm fully prepared. And, anyone that ever needs any help with anything, like I said, I, can only offer from my experiences. But I was telling another person yesterday, I was like, hey, I think I'd make a good exorcist because I really feel like I've got, just enough angst in my light to
Oh yeah.
keep anything away.
Yeah, you'd be the cosmic exorcist, getting rid of the negative ETs and blasting them out into the universe back where they came from. Um,
Absolutely.
so we kind of half kid around, but the thing is, you know, when you're amped up and you know truly that who you are is who you are. That's why I don't read any internet websites, because they're all agendas of people that are projecting their own frequency and consciousness, which doesn't necessarily represent the understandings of light that I've come to Earth to understand, which I came to by my own understanding, by coming here with a clear conscience. You have a very clear conscience. I can tell just by talking with you, as always. And there are other people out here in the audience who have a clear conscience. And if you have a clear consciousness, you're able to perceive the difference between illusion and reality, awakening and non-awakening, love and light. These are all the things that you're able to perceive. So I say to everybody around the world watching encounters, it's not just about experiences and stories. It's about busting every single matrix on this planet, and also busting any negative ETs that are out there. We're going to kick your butts starting now.
Absolutely. The
That's
first negative
this is
encounter I had. Yeah.
cosmic commentary from CmdrAleon on this show. I mean, I am, don't even come near me or anybody else in this room that's of the light, because they're going to kick your butt.
Yeah.
Go back home, wherever you came from.
See, I learned that with I believe it was a ghost. I don't know what it was, but something chased me out of my house when I was younger. And, when I was standing in the middle of the street feeling like a insane person, I was like, okay, there's something in my house. It's trying to scare me off, and I am not that person. So I walked back in that house and claimed it and was like, hey, this is my house. If you don't like it, you can get the F out of here. Because,
So
yeah,
what happened? Did they leave?
I never had an experience like that. They literally chased me out of the house. You know that feeling when your parents would come after you
Yeah,
when you were cruising for a bruising? Oh
cruising
yeah,
for a
that's what it
reason.
felt like as I was running from like getting my comeuppance. And I run into the kitchen, grab a knife, run outside in the middle of the street, and I'm thinking, okay, if this is some sort of spirit, what is this knife gonna do? So I sat there and told myself, like, would you let some random stranger chase you out of your house? Like, absolutely not. So I went
Yeah,
back
you
in there
just
and was
go
like,
back in the house and it's in the house. I
yeah.
mean, just go back. Just go, cross over the thing already and go into the light and leave me alone.
There was a lot of stuff at that house that I lived at. We would hear like the door close, and we had a very like large, you know, it had double locks on it and everything. And we would hear that door open and close. And, you know, after that experience where I kind of put my foot down, was like, oh, hell no, you're not going to chase me out of my house. We never had anything that was weird
Right.
like that happen again. So.
Yeah, see, well, you took the cosmic bull by the horn, and you did what you were going to do. So, and the thing is that when you're in the frequency of light, when you're in the frequency of cosmic understanding, anything that's lesser than that will never ever be able to touch anyone. And you're giving people a teachable moment here. What you're saying is, and you know, it's just time, folks. You know, I had to say this tonight. It's just time. It's time to get ready to push forward, to walk the walk, and not just talk our talk, but let people know we are here now. We are the representation of a new planetary system called the New Earth. It's not going to be a new Earth that's separate from this particular Earth. It's going to be this Earth, you see? This is the Earth that we are going to live on, that's going to be new, renewed Earth, renewed. We're not running away from this planet to get off planet to go somewhere else. I know I used to see people on Facebook say, I can't wait to run off this planet or get off this planet. I'm so tired of being on this planet. I'm so tired of being here. So then why are you here? You know?
Yeah, I
Why
don't think it's the planet per se. It's just this system that we're interlocked in right now. We're just not doing it right, you know? It's like the universe and everything is working against us right now, and I think it's for a reason. It's because they know we're not doing things right. So
I'm
nothing's
putting
gonna,
my headphones on here.
you know, nothing's gonna
These are
line up
working.
until we get into that mindset where, you know, we're making things better and, you know, accepting people for who they are, looking into things that might be kind of weird, but they might be kind of true. It's like you have to be open-minded. You know, don't discredit anything until you kind of have some evidence for yourself at the same time, you know?
That's right. That's right. You know, and that's why I think as we proceed to go forward, there's a lot of things we have to deal with. This earth has so many beautiful possibilities, and it will. Once we get to that attained level of light as a whole planetary system, we will actually be having interactions with other spiritual planetary worlds of light all over the universe, all over the multiverse. We have no idea where we're going yet, but we're going there. We're going to be going to such a high state of consciousness that we're going to meet some beautiful people along the way on other planets that have been doing it for way longer than we have, that live in that Christ consciousness. And I say the Christ consciousness is the key to the new reality. The Christ consciousness is the key to the new reality. That is the reality in which we live in harmony with every living cosmic being of light, no matter what planetary system they come from, no matter what solar system, whatever galaxy they come from. We will work and live in that frequency. Do you get that? Does everybody understand that watching this show tonight? What I'm saying is directly, without any channeling, direct information.
Yes, sir.
For everyone. So don't be confused by anything else out there, because there's a lot of confused people out there that are on Facebook and other places. They're totally confused, and they're bringing confused messages that don't even tell you the truth. They're just like, la-di-da-di-da, here I am. Here's what I'm going to say. This is it. You know.
Yeah.
I don't.
The gentleman that was on last night, I think you guys did a great thing for him, because I could tell that he was really going through it. And, you know, of course, like anytime you have some sort of huge epiphany like that, you know, it can be a little bit disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you learn that certain things you thought were real, like, just aren't real. But
yeah,
we all, you know, got over the fact that Santa Claus wasn't real. So, I mean, like, you know, let's be realistic here. If we can survive that, then we can survive anything.
Well, Santa Claus is something else. The real Santa Claus lives in a place called the North Pole, but it's not on planet Earth. And the real Santa Claus would not be bearing gifts down chimneys. He'd be going, ho, 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 would you like to go to the North Pole and hang out for a while? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I definitely believe all of the legends, you know, mythical creatures, all of that stuff was definitely based in truth, and they definitely had their time. So,
Yeah,
that's the thing. People
yeah,
are like, oh, unicorns, not real. Well, there's so many things that people have depicted over the years. And it's like, what are the
yeah.
chances that people are, carving things into stone across the universe on two different sides of the world that look exactly the same?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the things that we learn over time. We only know very little about the history of our Earth, only based on historical books, anthropology. All these different things tell us a little bit about our planet, and but we still there's other things that are not in our books that we have to learn ourselves. We have to explore. We have to jump in there and try to learn. Gail, thank you for the roses. We have to jump in there and learn all these different things. And it's not always easy. Like for any one of us, it's not always easy, but we can do it. And we will do it because that's part of our destiny here, right? Is to proceed forward and learn as much as we can about our galactic history on this planet. This planet's billions of years old, all right? Billions. Oh, thank you. This planet is billions of years. Thank you, Jackie and Etheric. This planet is billions of years old. Do you understand what that means? It means that we don't know anything about this planet. We only know the current history of our planet. Well, we do know if you're galactically woken up, if you're a star seed, if you have had an encounter with space beings, if you've had UFO sightings, you are aware that the fact is we are not alone. You're aware of the fact that there's more hope happening than we even know, right? You're aware of that, aren't you? So if you are aware of that, then what's the next step in your awareness? The next step is to move forward into another awareness, into another state of cosmic consciousness where you attain more information. That information gets downloaded into your cellular structure through your what you call your brain into your center of your being. It gets activated in you. It's part of you. It's part of who you are, right? That's what it's all about. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about.
And we're here to share our experiences. If we can just change one person's mind or maybe wake someone up and say, hey, these weird things that you're experiencing, like, they're not that weird. They happen to other people. And,
Right.
I've always been very open. People are always like, oh, everyone's got skeletons in the closet. And it's like, no, I don't
Right.
actually.
Really, right, really. Yeah, you have a fake skeleton from Halloween that you
Yeah.
bought at the Halloween store.
I'm
You
just
got
one
a
of
few of
those
those left?
people. I verbally spew, so it's like everyone knows all my information. Everything
Yeah,
I do is out there, and people always hold me accountable for the terrible things I do. Like if I was to have a couple too many glasses of wine and you know be an idiot to somebody, like I always hear about it. So it's like I've always been very held accountable to my actions, and that's always been
yeah,
a good thing because I've never caused anybody harm. I've never wanted to cause anybody harm, but I feel like, being an open book, some people might look at me like, oh, this chick's kind of weird, but hey, I feel really great in my life. I just had gone to the hospital because I have to get a stupid cyst removed, and I
oh,
saw my ex best friend's mother, and we hadn't seen each other in a while, and she was like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your dad passing. And I was like, oh, don't worry, he's still around. She was like, what? She like thought that like he hadn't passed away. I was like, no, he passed away. I'm like, but he's still here. Anytime I call
yeah,
on him, he shows up. So there's definitely
yeah,
more than what we know of this place. And I wish some of it was taught, when we're young. I tried,
yeah.
tell my nieces things. Like I told my nieces I'm a witch. I told nieces that I've seen my kitties after they passed away. So, this is the stuff I'm going to tell them. If their mother and father want to think that I'm like the crazy aunt, I claim that I am the crazy
Well,
aunt.
well, really, what you are is, it's hard to put a label on you, but I can tell you, you're more of a space being than you are the other thing. You're really more space oriented in truth. When we come to Earth, we choose Earth-based things that are part of the Earth experience, that's fine. That's what people do. But really, the reason why you had all the sightings, because you are a star seed, you are a star being. If I had to label you, which I don't label too many people, I would say you are a star seed. You actually come from the stars. That's why those ships were beaming down beams you were probably connected to that particular group of space people that were there. They were saying, "Hey, here we are," you know.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm not ready. Run away, run away."
And that's and you know what? They respect that. If you're not ready to go on a ship, you're not ready. You know, no one's going to force you to go on a ship if you're not ready to go on a ship and go through the universe and see things. That can only happen when you're ready, and that goes for anybody out there
Oh
who's
yeah.
being contacted.
15 years later, I'd be like, you know, I would have ran in there and been like, "Oh, let's go try to find it," like let's drive
Yeah.
after it like people do. But yeah, I was just like the weird stuff, and I never asked for any of it to happen. And growing up like Roman Catholic, you grow up with that ideology, but at the same time, like my grandmother, she was, devout Roman Catholic, and by the end of her journey here on this planet, she believed in healers and all of that stuff. So,
Mm.
you can go by what you grow up believing, but at the same time, you have to change your mind to what you experience in life.
Yeah.
Like because they say, "Oh, well, when we die, we go to heaven." We don't lurk
Right.
around here. Yet my grandmother saw her husband after he passed, so obviously they can still come back. So it's like
Yeah.
she was taught to believe this, but when you physically see, like I don't know anybody else, but I have partaken in many things and I've never hallucinated and seen something that
Yeah.
was not there. You know what I mean? And any of the
And while
weird
you're
things that I have seen,
yeah.
most of them have been corroborated. Not a lot of the
Yeah.
crafts in the sky, but there's been a lot of
Yeah.
weird things that have been corroborated.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much stuff that we have seen in our lives. So many people out here in our audience have actually had, I'm sure, UFO experiences. If I were to say right now, how many of you experienced having visitations? Let's do that question. How many people out here have been visited by extraterrestrial intelligence? I want to see on the screen how many people have. We can take a look here. I'm sure it's a lot. A lot of dream state, not dream state. See, a lot of people. In dreams, let's see. Difference. Some people in dreams, some people in the reality state of direct contact. A ship in nature. So it varies a lot. In dreams are, I've talked about dreams. I've also seen ships. So Shrimp says they've seen 3 ships. Let me go here to Shrimp. Can I
Yes,
get Shrimp
please
up
feel
here?
free to share your stories, everybody.
Yeah, if you want to come up and join Jessica and I up here, we'll take at least another 1 or 2 people up here on live. This is Encounters, the late night spiritual UFO talk show. I'm your host that's busting the matrix, CmdrAleon from the Ashtar Galactic Command. Also hosted WESU FM's 21 years on the radio, Ashtar Command Radio on NPR Pacifica Radio for 21 years, every Sunday morning,
Nice.
you know? So I'm the real deal, folks.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Christina
know
says,
the station WCCC down in Hartford. I had won a contest when I was younger, and they were talking about offering me a job with communications. But then after their cell phone failed when we were supposed to do an online interview, that ship sailed.
oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm a talker, but
It's,
I don't think I could do it for a living. If I was
yeah.
going to be talking, I work with the people so that I keep my conversations more personal.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The person I'm bringing up here now, he's a renowned expert on all different things if he's available. He lives in a place that I would call sort of like a fantasy. There have been for kids movies about it. He's well known, I think, in that realm. He's a jolly good fellow, as they would say, and his name is James down the rabbit hole. So he might be busy doing stuff right now, so maybe he can't come up, but I've just invited him to come out of the rabbit hole if he wishes to do so, and join us on the spaceship. Oh, I'm in the home tonight. Oh, okay, you're in the home tonight? You're not in the rabbit hole? Oh, he's in the home tonight. Okay.
He's in the burrow.
He might be in the burrow, I think. I think he's in the burrow. I think we've come to that conclusion that he's in the burrow. But you know what? The groundhog didn't see a shadow. That means spring is coming soon.
Oh, I hope so.
Does everybody on here know that the cosmic spring is coming very soon? It is. And the commander is going to grow a lot of watermelons this year on planet Earth. We will.
Nice.
Yes, it'll be a good thing.
That's another thing I think people should start doing. Take one of your favorite foods that you buy all the time at the grocery store. If it's something that you can feasibly grow in your backyard, just try it out. You never know. If you like tomatoes or cucumbers, pick something easy that is going to grow pretty simply. And maybe not tomatoes are not the easiest, but if we can start growing some of our food, it'll save us money. And when you're growing stuff, it kind of teaches you other things, nurturing and all that good stuff.
Right. And I want to invite somebody who doesn't want to come up. So the way it works here on Encounters, I know there's a lot of shy people about coming up. I think it's Elmeal 73. I don't want to come up, but please see if you can shed any light on one of my only UFO encounters. So put it this way, Emil. If you come up, every single guest I've had last year on my show will tell you that we treat our guests with the utmost honor. Any of our guests, Jessica can tell you, she's the second time coming up. We treat everybody with honor. I'm a contactee. I've had experiences in the 60s, and that's when I first did my contact. So for me to be a talk show host on this kind of a show, on radio and on here, I'm not going to ever put you down. We'll not make fun of you. We'll not laugh at you. So come on up. Press the accept button. Come on up and tell your story, Don't be afraid to do
it. Definitely have a positive vibe, and I felt comfortable. Not that I'm usually hesitant on sharing my stories, but I felt very welcomed and felt like I could tell you guys all my weird stories and not be judged. So
yeah, absolutely. We don't judge anybody here. We never judge anybody. Don't be afraid. Listen to everybody here. Do not be afraid to speak your truth. It's all about cosmic awareness, awakening, and people speaking.
Yeah, sometimes I get nervous about telling people the truth because the truth is not always an easy thing to digest, and sometimes you have to be a little more tender with some people. Like my brother, for instance, he's in a very tough place right now, and it's hard for him to see, the wonders of the world, as I put that. And as he's been staying with my mother, because he's living back with my mother, he's been seeing some stuff. So it's like, anyone that I say, if you haven't seen anything, if you don't believe in that type of stuff, come hang out with me for one day, maybe 6 hours.
6 hours.
6 hours, and you will see something. Like me and my brother went on a short.
She guarantees it. 6 hours.
Yes.
I want everybody to follow Carrie. Carrie wants to come up. She has 197 followers. If 10 people follow Carrie 79, she wants to come up. I'll bring her up on audio. If you have 200 followers, just let people new to TikTok or don't know the things the way it works technically. So if you have 200 followers, you can come up live on audio. If you have 1,000 followers, you can come on our show on audio and then video. And if you can come up on video, please be dressed and be able to come and make sure you can be dressed and be on the camera, because if you're not dressed, I can't put you on here because then I'd get in trouble.
Yeah, we don't want Commander to get bananaed.
I don't want naked people talking about encounters on my show. Can't happen. Then I'd really be in trouble.
What's funny is, they always talk about, human beings and how there's not life on other planets, where if you think about it, our birthday suit was nothing. Like, why do we have to wear clothes to live on this planet? Maybe because we weren't supposed to originally have been from this planet?
Maybe not.
And a little food for thought.
Now we have Carrie. Carrie, I just sent you an invitation. She got over 200 followers, and that's a good thing. Carrie, I just sent you a guest invitation. Just press the acceptance thing or the guest icon thing at the bottom with the little red and blue thing, and you can come on the live right now and share what you wish to ask me. There she goes. We help everybody out here on Encounters, folks. Don't forget that. Hey, Carrie, good evening.
Hi.
Yay.
Hey.
Welcome.
Well, welcome to your first Encounter live.
I know this is the first time I've ever been live. I'm like so nervous.
Oh, I would be more excited than nervous.
Yeah, I am. I'm excited and I'm nervous, so it's so weird.
It's okay. By the time we get done with you, you'll be so calm and mellow, you'll forget the other person was there.
Well, mine is a little bit different. Like years ago, I live on Long Island, and
Okay.
I think like I always thought that it would be hard to like have an encounter on Long Island because like we have all the city lights and there's a lot of air pollution from like the lights and everything here. But I was in Arizona and for a week, and I had a very strange experience there, and like somebody I told tried to convince me that it was a ghost, and I know
Yeah.
it wasn't a ghost. I know it wasn't, and because I felt like a ghost would make me feel like a little bit nervous, but I never
Yeah.
felt at peace before in my life. Like
Yep.
I felt so good. I felt like I belonged there, and I couldn't even make out what he looked like. I just know that he was taller than me, and like I felt he was like the being was happy, and I felt like I was happy.
Yeah.
And for the rest of the time I was there, I went to the exact spot because I was hoping that I would see him again, but every time I was there, I was happy. So
Yeah.
I started journaling about it, right?
Wow.
And I started writing about it and everything like that. And I was sick, and somebody went through my desk at work and found it. And they read everything. And I guess they don't believe in anything. And they changed up the story, and they told a lot of people that I work with. And now they all make fun of me and call me the UFO girl. And at first I was thinking about saying that, oh no, it was a fiction story. I was making it up. But then I was like, no, I can't do that. That I feel like that would be not true to me.
No, you wouldn't be true to yourself at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't be true to myself, and I couldn't do it because especially in that moment, I was going through like such an anxiety and depression moment, and it stopped. It went away. So like, I was like, I don't want to deny that,
Yeah.
So he's made it very difficult for me to go to work every day, and I was like, I'm still going to stand my ground.
And was this a manager or a coworker?
No, it was just a coworker that we're like, we're on the same level, and at certain points we do kind of compete against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very like kind of relaxed that like, a competing position isn't a good thing for me because I don't, like
Right.
I'll just back into a corner, but I know my work is better than his. And I was like, if that's the only edge he has on me, like he kind of tried to make everyone think I was nuts and I was crazy.
Right. So did you ever challenge him and say, you know what? I mean, by the time I got done with him, he'd be like hiding under a table. You know why? Because I don't care.
Yeah.
And the thing is, here's what I'm going to suggest you do, because I'm in an amped up mood tonight. I'm here to bust the matrix. So I'm going to suggest it to, since he's not higher than you, he's not like some boss or whatever. Here's what the commander is going to suggest you do. Bust his matrix. The next time he kind of calls you crazy, laugh in his face and say, you're just totally asleep, walking around thinking everything's la-di-da-di-da the way it is. You are so not there.
Yeah.
And just tell him, hey, look, just get in his face. This is what I would do to people like that. I got in somebody's face years ago in an angel shop who was laughing at me. By the time I got done with them, they weren't laughing anymore. They were like looking like a fool. And, sometimes you have to be not only a cosmic buster, you have to be the warrior of light. And a warrior of light is someone that takes no garbage from anybody. coworker or not
But
coworker.
I've
And
been
I'll tell
trying, and I just keep getting so nervous saying anything because I don't want to look crazy. And then like sometimes I'm like, I don't give a shit how I look. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. You know,
yeah,
I don't care how I look.
don't give a blank what you think or how you look.
Yeah,
You just have to stand in your light. Now this is the time where the blank hits the fan, meaning because we're now at a point where the planet is going to a state of elevation, there are people on this planet like your coworker who are going to say things that are not very nice to say, do things that are not very nice to do. But if you get in their face and look them straight in the eye, they're going to freak out. They're not going to
yeah,
know what to do. If you look them straight in the eye, it's like do a psychological freak out. Look him straight in the eye like this. You know, I think look right in his eye like this. You think I'm crazy, do you? You have no idea what's coming.
yeah.
you
And
know,
it's
I
it's
don't know if I'm
it's
good like
funny
that.
because like I do notice that there are a few people that at first I thought like they just wanted to stay out of it. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's more than they want to stay out of it. I feel
Right.
like they know something too,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, gonna stick up for me a little bit, but then I'm like, you know what, it's fine, like, whatever, I can handle it, but
Yeah.
there was some times that like I felt like I couldn't handle it, that I would go home from work crying, or like I
Yeah.
don't want to go in the next day, but I am gonna have to start. I'm going to,
Yeah.
next week
You have
go
to.
in and be like, you think
You
I'm
have to
nuts,
be.
you?
You don't even say that. Don't even tell them you think I'm nuts. Just go in there and say, you know what? You're going to have to learn a few things because things are coming down the cosmic pike, and you're laughing. And the reason why you're saying the things to me you're saying because you're afraid. That's the one thing you can say to them. You're really afraid, aren't you? Just use that
Yeah,
psychology. You're calling me this. You are I. You know what? You are the most afraid coworker I've ever met. You are so
yeah,
afraid that you are now laughing at me because you're scared. You're scared of what's going to happen to the planet. You're scared of the cosmic awakening that's going to come. You're scared of the fact that I'm telling you the truth. And that's why you're hiding behind your cubicle and your desk in the office, aren't you?
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
joking, but I'm kind of giving you like
But that's exactly how it is. I mean, at first I was all like bent out of shape that he went through my stuff when I wasn't there.
well
But
that
then
was
I
one
was
thing.
like, it's even more than that. Like, it was even more that like he took my personal, like, and
How
like
does anybody
switched.
do that?
Yeah. Like he switched a little things around to make it like, to make it look different than it really was,
Yeah.
like, I mean, he totally like changed the narrative of what happened and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
you know and I walk down the hall sometimes and I know that, like, his little group, sometimes they're looking at me like, I'm crazy, and then I know that there's other people that are just afraid to speak out for me, and
Right.
I
Right.
understand that. I don't want to, put them in a
Well,
bad spot,
the
but
people that are afraid to speak out, the ones that are afraid that don't think it's right, they're just cowards. If they don't
yeah.
speak out and they know you're right, they should be
You're
all
right.
speaking out in support of what you're doing. Matter of fact, you should go to those people and say, "What are you doing sitting there quietly knowing that this is wrong? How could you sit there, 4 or 5 of you, look at the other group and think that they can get away with it?"
Yeah.
The other group is like the group that would be in school in high school, and they'd be the ones laughing and bullying other people, regardless of what they believed in. They'd be just bullying them, and that's
Yeah.
got to stop. That's the whole thing about busting the matrix on this
Mm.
planet. As we go to 30 years later, we are on a planet that not only is seeing increased UFO activity, interactions, people that have been on the show that have had encounters directly in their homes with space people, all kinds of different types of things, whether it be the Zeta, whether it be Palladians, whether it be whatever. Many people have different types of experiences. Not everything is good, not everything is bad either, right? But we at least have everybody sharing their experiences, which is important. These people, or this guy or whatever, he has no right to go through your materials. You can essentially say, look, you're going through my materials. I can go after you for that, for going through my personal stuff and report you. You know, um, you really, in truth, on a 3D level, you could do that. On a cosmic level, you can just get in his energy field and say, look, I don't care what you think. Stop going through my stuff.
Yeah.
Just that's what you need to tell him, because your cosmic journey, your personal information, your understanding about UFOs has nothing to do with him. And if he's not interested in the subject, he should, I've never seen a situation working in an office where somebody's going to go through somebody else's stuff.
Right.
I
would
think that's
never
just
see that, And now, I used to journal on my lunch break or my breaks, but now I keep all of that at home hidden, and I feel like it shouldn't be hidden. I love writing, and I'm a pretty good writer, and I just feel like, if more people read it with an open mind, it would be different, and right. I don't know. I just felt like he ruined that for me. So, but
one person says, a friend of ours who was on our show the other night says she's saying in Quebec you should sue him. You actually, not that I would say it, but you could actually do that for him going through your personal items in the office.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not suggesting that or not. I'm just saying that's what somebody's saying.
And
here.
We have locks on our drawers, and I always wondered. I don't lock my drawer, but I always wonder, when we're leaving, so many people lock it. And I never felt the need to lock it because I just never felt like I never felt like I had anything to hide.
Right.
Even though, I don't know. I just felt like if somebody needed something, it's there for you,
Yeah. And you're a very open person. Now, I don't know you personally, but I can tell by talking to you, you're extremely open. You have nothing to hide. You're just an open book that is like, hey, look, you're looking at it like, oh, I'm this open book that believes in and the whole subject of the UFOs, the ET things, and all this. I'm just an open book. But then there's other people, obviously, that see that open book, and they're trying to distort what you're doing, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and they can't do that because you know who you are. No one can do that to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It really, I used to be, I used to have a lot of anxiety and a little bit of depression. And then seriously, after that encounter, my life changed. I was happy and I was a different person, and I feel like this guy is trying so hard to take it away, and I'm standing my ground. I'm not letting it happen. I won't let it happen.
No, don't let it happen. No one takes away.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one gets to take away your joy, your encounter with a space being that you had a positive encounter with. They don't get to do that. If anything, that person you need to, like someone said in the room here in encounters, you need to set those boundaries up. And it might not always be easy, but you need to set those boundaries up where he doesn't touch anything, doesn't come near you. That's what you need to do for sure, without a question.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been following you for so long, and every night I listen at 11 and I try to see, get advice and it's actually helped me stay on my course,
Oh, good.
You and a lot of all the people that you have on your show, it's really helped me stay, I don't want to say powerful, but to have that, energy.
I appreciate that. I know, if I can help any people out here beyond, some talk show hosts just interview people, have their suits and ties on and do a nice interview, and we're very proper in their interview. And let's see, in Washington, isn't there going to be more UFO hearings? There are people like that. They're on YouTube or whatever. Right. Me, I'm more the non-traditional talk show host.
That's what I like about you.
I don't wear any kind of suit. This is my Palladian medallion. Dr. Fred Bell, whose father was a scientist, had the original medallion he found in a ruin in a tomb in a pyramid in Egypt during World War II. The Palladians took it back because he used it and it was powerful. And evidently this scientist from Germany with the Nazis came and tried to take the medallion, and he shot some beam out of it, and it burnt the Nazi scientist's hand. And then the Palladians came and took the original medallion, and they gave him another medallion that didn't have all that power, but had the same symbols. This is the Palladian medallion right here.
It's so interesting.
That's my Palladian medallion. I wear that, and I wear that because it really is an energy, a suitable energy comes from it. It definitely is constructed by the Palladians, and it's a just beautiful energy. It's also protective. It has a field of energy that goes around my body that protects me from all energies other than the light energies and frequencies of light. So it's a beautiful thing. And if you were to see all the crystals in the next day or so this weekend, I think we're moving. This room is going to be an art room, and crystals will be in here. You'll get to see all the different crystals that I have. I have many, many very highly charged extraterrestrial crystals that will amp up this room into a different frequency state. It also just I'll let people see some of the crystals once we get to set up here. It's going to be pretty intergalactic. This room is going to be so crystallized. It's going to be kind of crazy in a good way.
That's awesome.
Send me your P.O. box so I can send you a gift. You're not too far from me, so I can send you a little crystal gift.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't have a P.O. box, but go ahead.
I have a friend on Long Island that has a crystal shop, and she's a few times has said, come into my shop, and look around and get a feel for some of the crystals. They not all of them might suit you, but some of them might. But so I haven't done that yet. But I just
So here's what I want you to do: when you go to a crystal shop, get selenite, get slabs of selenite, put them in your room and your windows. Get amethyst crystals. Those are very high frequency crystals. If she has any Lemurian crystals, get those. Those 3 crystals, and there's more, but those 3 alone will assist. That will help you greatly in amping up the energy in your home too.
Okay. Yeah, and if you need some protection, I would go with obsidian or black tourmaline. Those are my 2 favorites. They're both black, but
okay.
Yeah.
One obsidian can come in a black form, it can come in silver, it can come in gold, and it can also come in different colors and rainbow. Oh, I love it. It's funny because my crystal dealer, every time I claim something that's obsidian, she's like, yep, obsidian. I know you're going to claim the obsidian. I'm like, I can't help it. I have obsidian. An obsession.
It's not too absurd to have an obsidian. If you're absurd, then you can have an obsidian. But you can't have an obsidian if you have an obsidian. Say that 3 times quickly. I'm sorry, I'm getting people confused here about obsidian. What do I know?
I really, really appreciate you getting me up to 200 and bringing me on.
Yeah.
I've been listening and I'm always in the background because I am very shy and quiet and everything like that. But I appreciate you so much for bringing me on here. Thank you so much.
No, I want you to feel confident, and I don't know if you're crying or you have allergies, but what's ever going on.
It's a little bit of both, because when I talk about it, it just gets me so upset because I'm so not invasive to people, and to have somebody do that to me, it was just, I don't know. I felt like I felt the knife in my back, when that happened.
No, I know that. Well, I'm glad you're here. I want you to feel love and joy. I'm going to do something for you here, and I feel it's appropriate if you'll let me.
Yeah,
I'm going to actually go off my green screen for a minute to do this. Let me see here. Hold it. Am I going to go off my green screen? Let's see. Am I going to do that? I think I am. I'm going to attempt to go off my green screen. Maybe I'm not. Okay. Yeah, I actually am. What am I doing? I'm pressing the wrong thing here. I'm going to go off my green screen. Okay. So here I am. Here's the palm of my hand. You see this?
Yes.
So with the palm of my hand, I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to ask the Christ to work through me. I'm going to ask the Christ to work through me. I ask the Christ to come through from the highest levels of light to assist Carrie, to clear the energy of fear and nervousness out of her body, to amp up her frequency of light in her body, in the most highest levels of Christ consciousness. We take all that away. That is fear, inconsistency, nervousness. Give it up to the Creator. We're going to give it up to the Creator now. By the time we are finished, she will have nothing to cry about except joy. I ask the Christ to work on her, to work on her whole cellular structure. Keep your eyes closed just for a moment. Okay, we're done. How do you feel?
Okay. I actually am smiling. So, you know, I feel good. I'm smiling and kind of like laughing a little bit. So, you know, I feel good. I'm not like, I don't even have a tear in my eye anymore now. So, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, I'll feel strength Monday when I go into work. and not that I hope, I feel, you know, like I'm gonna, you know, make sure I have it, you know, like
you will
be confident.
You're not sad anymore because you know what just happened. All I am is a conduit. When I do this kind of work, once in a while people see me do this. I don't do it always unless I need to. I'm a conduit for the Christ. What that means is I'm not faking anything I do here. You know, people that have seen, you've seen me long time. People last year have seen me do healing sessions on here. I don't do them all the time, but I've done them. And they'll tell me, and I always keep myself level-headed when I do this work. And they'll tell me that, Commander, I don't have this pain anymore. I don't have this anymore. You know, I have done nothing. All I am is the physical vehicle. It's a conduit as it's defined in the dictionary. A conduit is somebody who could be a light pole. So in order for the light bulb to go on, the pole has to be there with the wiring to make the light go on. So look at this as being my hand, my palm of my hand, that Christ uses it to heal people. And in this case, it could be healing, can be anything. It could be physical, non-physical, mental, whatever. Okay. So that's why you feel, and I can tell now, you're so much more happier and calm.
Yeah.
So when you go into that office, you're going to kick some butt.
Thank you.
That's your right. Promise me you'll do that.
I will. I do. I promise. And okay. I appreciate you bringing me up here so much. You have no idea.
No, I appreciate you so much, you know.
Thank you. And you're on every night at 11, and I try almost every night to make it, you know, at 11 o'clock from 11 to 1 to watch you. And it's like my favorite show. Once
in a while, I take a break, just like any human being.
Yeah, you need that.
I might take one night off to just regenerate, because I'm dealing with a lot of energy. Even my dear friend Athena says, Commander, you're dealing with a lot of energy coming in, you know, when you're on. And I'm very aware of that. So I always put a bubble of protection around me and around the room when I'm on here, so nothing will affect me. But thank you so much, Carrie, for sharing your story, for being here.
And thank you, everyone, for the comments, too. I keep looking down a little bit, and I see all the comments. And you have a great following, too. They're amazing. So,
thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Commander. I really, really appreciate everything.
I am so excited you made your first live on my show. I love
Me too. I am so excited. I've never, ever been live before. So hopefully I'll get 1,000 and I'll be on the camera soon.
You will. Everybody keep following. When we get up to 1,000, she'll be on the camera. We want to have her on here so she can be a superstar and go to Hollywood. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you for being on here.
Thank you and good night. And thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know how to disconnect though.
I'll do that. I can do that. And yeah, Lori, thank you. Yeah, Lori's saying, Lori Honig says, Commander, you need time to reboot. And Lori, you know what? That's what I do. Like maybe like once in the week, I'll take time to reboot. You might not see me on or whatever, but the Commander is here. So let me just, we got, we're bringing up two people. We're bringing up Jessica back up. And we have, hey, our friend in Quebec. Good to see you. And Jessica, welcome back.
I froze up. I don't know what happened. Yeah, well, one thing I wanted to say was that we are all here to help each other. I feel like we're all here to help, you know, the hard things we go through are here to help other people, you know, that may be going through them. And so I feel like there's always a reason for everything. And sometimes the pain is just so that you have to experience it to be a stronger person. And then maybe someone's going to come along that's going to see what happened to you and that'll help them out in their, you know, difficult time.
Yeah, absolutely. And say hello to our friend in Quebec. Good evening.
Welcome.
Good evening. How you doing?
Hello. We're doing well, and how are you? Good to see you.
I'm good. I'm good. You know, I was listening to what you were saying about people. You know, some people have the ability to heal, to prayer. You know, and you know, sometimes when you are very spiritual, you have to pray to protect yourself because there's a lot of negativity out there also.
Oh yeah, and once you're aware of that, you know how. If you're not aware of that, you can be susceptible to it. But if you're aware of it and you're a light worker or what have you, once you know how to put a protection around yourself and be a warrior of light, where sometimes you have to kick some butt with your coworkers or whatever, you do it. And when you get done doing it, they're going to respect you more, because if you don't do it, they're going to just keep doing what they're doing, thinking they can just do it. So yeah, you know, you have to. People have to be, I always put a cosmic level of protection around my body wherever I go, because I can go into a store or market, there's all kinds of energies, and you always want to protect yourself wherever you are. It's so important to do that.
You have to. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. But I feel bad for the girl that had the problem at work, because that's bullying. And everybody should respect each other.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I know that bullying is in high school or middle school, but when you're an adult, bullying should not be there.
No one should do it. An adult person doing it to another adult should know better. That's the thing. She has her own journal of her UFO encounters, and this person goes into her book. No one should be going to anybody's office cubicle or anything. They should leave that stuff alone. And, you know, they certainly should know better than to do what they're doing.
Yeah, that's out of control. I'm not going to say what I probably would have done, because sometimes I can be a little petty. I am not perfect at all. And I think, you know, maybe not being the greatest kid, you know, I didn't come from an easy upbringing. I'm sure none of us have, but, you know, there were a lot of things I had to work through, and I was very angry for a long time. So I think now that I've regulated my emotions, I can handle things a lot easier. And, you know, I don't.
Well, we go through things
crazy.
You know, right. You know, when we go through things on Earth, we're having an Earth experience, and it's not always going to be lovey-dovey. It's not going to always be, oh wow, I had this experience. Look at me. You know, light workers tend to get the brunt of it. UFO people tend to get some of it, but that's been happening for decades, at least in the current decades here. But understand something else is that we also now have the majority of people. We have Congress and different people coming out with a little bit of disclosure about about the fact that there are UFOs, although they won't really admit that they're extraterrestrial yet, which is putting them behind the eight ball. That there are different beings of light that exist, and they are here, and we are part of that whole dynamic that is going on.
Yeah, they keep backpedaling. I don't know why. They're like, oh
Maybe.
yeah, we're releasing all these documents. Oh, now we're not letting any more stuff out.
Right.
It's like,
That's right.
what are you doing?
But they're
I'm gonna
hiding
let you.
something
I'll let
more.
you two talk for a minute. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some more cider out.
Yes, they're hiding something. They don't want to put everything out there. I don't know why, but they're telling part
I,
of it, but they don't want to tell the whole story.
it's weird because, they had somewhat of a disclosure and it really seemed like everybody wasn't super shocked. So what are they
Hmm.
taking it back so that they can give us disclosure again and we'll be like, oh my God, and start freaking out. Like that
Hmm.
ship has sailed. Just tell us the truth. Like,
Why you
people I think
hiding?
are more open-minded now than ever.
That's true. But they're still hiding something. You have to tell the whole truth. Stop telling half truth.
Yeah, I think if they told us everything that they've been hiding, all of us would have like the mind blown emoji, like, I still have my days where I learn so much, even just because I like to learn a lot of different things. There's his name is Professor Nixie. He goes on here and he does like scientific things. He's, a scientist. He actually has developed all of the banking security for online, like when you go and pay your bank statements online, he developed that security. So he's like very smart, but he, talks about the real proven scientific things, like I would really like to pick his brain someday and ask him what he thinks about, all of the supernatural aspects, as they do correlate to science.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
people,
That would be interesting.
that would be good. But some people, they only believe in science. They don't believe in nothing supernatural.
Yeah,
You
Especially
know what?
scientists, you cannot tell them that. Some of them are not open to it.
I know,
You know.
and it's funny. My husband, he's like, "You're walking the fence. You're walking the fence," and I'm like, "That's what I've done my whole life." I look at both sides and I say, "Hey, I believe this and I believe this, but I don't exactly believe one side or the other." Like I have my own beliefs. So and that's kind of what you have to do with everything. Make your own mind up about things while
Yeah.
still taking in information about both sides of every story.
Yeah.
That's true.
And scientists could be open if enough people question the scientists. You could say, scientist so and so. What do you think about this? Sometimes they're not focused on it, but they might be open to it. There's other scientists over the last 30 years are come a long way from 30 years before. 30 years before, you would probably find hardly any scientists that would say, "Oh yeah, UFOs, oh ETs, oh yeah,
Mhm.
I think they yeah, I think they do exist. I think they're out there." The thing is, there is a situation where I think scientists are more progressive now than they were 30 years ago. I think there's a new generation of scientists or new scientists that are more open to the subject.
See, we were getting there back in the day, though, with like Tesla and Einstein. There was at some point someone came out and was like, whoa, there has been a huge roadblock in our development because somebody thought that they wanted to just hinder all of that for us. I don't know who it was. I don't appreciate it, but
Yeah,
that's not the point right now. We just need to learn how to fix it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I feel like we can wake up like so and be so advanced, and
yeah,
have free energy and clean water, and we wouldn't be wanting or needing for anything, but we just have to do the things, and give
yeah,
people the information and stop trying to make a damn dollar.
yeah,
Like I would rather, like, I've had money in my life and I've had no money. I've been homeless and I've had like a great house with like a pool and a hot tub, but it's like I have only been happy when I have been informed and like living my truth, like I was so upset for years because I couldn't find work. And I've had a very strong work background. I worked since I, was in high school to help my family out, but I was not getting a job to save my life. And I'm like, okay, what's wrong with me? Yeah, I've always been like a heavier person, and being a woman, like that always just comes into play. But after being rejected so many times, I ended up going to school and developing skills that I already had and enjoyed. And now I work for myself as a hairdresser, a makeup artist, a photographer. I do graphic design. I grow plants on the side. I do so many things. And I think it was meant to be that I wasn't having these 9 to 5 menial, meaningless jobs that I was doing, working in a factory making lipstick bottles, or, making, there's definitely jobs that are worth it, like, making food, prepping food, natural foods I worked at, but, making candles and things like that, that's meaningless stuff. And I was just meant for more, and the universe knew it. So they're like, okay, you're not going to get these jobs and you're not going to be happy about it, but there's going to be a reason for it. You know, and I went through a long period of that, and I've always done my best just on being myself and not hindering that for anybody. It always works out better if you just don't bend yourself to anybody else's will.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's true. You cannot please
you have
people.
to be yourself.
You cannot please people. People will try to make sure that you believe what they believe. And if you believe differently, you're different than them, they're going to make you feel bad. You cannot please everybody.
And then, in the UFO community, for years, the UFO community was laughed at, but at the same token, through the 60s, the UFO community was, all these different groups existed. But the UFO community didn't have a way to relate to each other. There was no intercommunications or dialogue, because there wasn't a Facebook, there wasn't an Instagram, there wasn't like a TikTok. But now that you have all these technologies, the people now look at us here. We have people coming in my live pretty much every night, and it's usually anywhere from where it is now to 200. Sometimes, depending what it is, might be 300. But it averages out usually near 200 a night. And I look at the week statistics of my broadcast, that's a lot of people. So you figure 1,000, 2,000 people in a week. That's a few people. I track the numbers. And as the show becomes bigger and more popular, we're reaching out to more people. As a matter of fact, I was hoping to get to 100,000 likes tonight. We're at 46,000. But that means every single person out there needs to tap. So I'm going to show you how to do this. You tap on the screen.
Hopefully it's not making a bunch of noise if I tap. I always don't tap because I think it makes noise.
Everybody tap. If you can tap as quick as I am. I don't think anybody can tap this quickly. I'm going to challenge everybody.
I'm a rapid tapper.
I'm going to challenge everybody to do what I'm doing right now. I bet you can't do it. You're doing this like in a millisecond.
Okay, I just sent 177.
I want to see if anybody can out tap me. Okay, let's have a tapping thing here. We'll get up to 100,000 before midnight, before 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
I bet I can.
Imagine
I'm gonna out tap everybody in this room right now.
Can you imagine what it would have been like 10 years ago, even with like the freedom of information that we've been able to have, just as of late, with TikTok, which I definitely appreciate. But at the same time, I'm sure you guys have seen what just happened with all the music being revoked.
Well, hopefully it won't affect me, because I only deal with outer space music.
Yeah, hopefully you deal with your original stuff, so you don't have to worry.
The outer space. So outer space music is void of control because it's from space. Remember that.
Yep.
It's outer space music.
It's funny because not a lot of my music was on there either, because I have such a weird variety of music that I like, and only recently have I been using popular songs to kind of get my reach out there, but I haven't even really developed my content, so I'm not going to worry about that until I start figuring out what I want to do here.
Yeah, and we need 50,000 more people to tap. We need, we need 50 more. We need 50,000 more taps here. We need to just tap here, folks. The commander not only runs a TV program here called Encounters, but we need you to tap. We need to invite people here, tap people, tap each other. Just let's start tapping. Let's get tapping here, folks.
I was going to ask you a question. Ask you a question. How do you know someone is a hybrid?
A hybrid is somebody who is well, they could be a star seed too, but a hybrid is usually someone who has been intermingled with the human biological genes and also a non-terrestrial gene. There's a story about a man who went to Africa. He met this woman and he came from a planet far, far away, a humanoid in a spacesuit, and they fell in love with each other. So there are a star seed and a person that might be a hybrid being or human could have been that way from an interrelationship between a space being and an Earth human. There's things called star seed, and there's other different terminologies that would be used to confirm that person is like that.
I'm going to ask you a question also. Is a star seed, are you talking about someone that is human, but their spirit is from somewhere else?
Yeah, starseed is somebody, as I will define it here, a long time ago I did, is somebody who comes from another planet. They're born with a human family. They're seeded in the human development process between a man and a woman on Earth. Then they are born, and they might remember exactly who they are, and then, or maybe not, and then later on they remember everything about themselves. They remember what planet they come from. They remember everything about the experience, but yet they are a starseed because they come to Earth from another planetary system. They volunteer to be here. That's what starseeds are doing. The starseeds are volunteers to come to Earth and educate and do mission work.
Okay. And the hybrids is between a human and an alien. But do they have different level of hybrids?
Well,
Like
there's
first
hybrids.
generation, second, third generation?
Well, if you look at CmdrAleon, who's a well-known communicator with Bashar is they're hybrids. They are very spiritually in tune, but they're hybrids. But they don't come from Earth. They are hybrids. And hybrids on Earth are ones that are intermingling with different extraterrestrial intelligences, and they are given some of the ET intelligence in their cellular structure. That's what a hybrid is.
Okay. But does someone know they are hybrid? How can they know if they...
Well, some people have come on my show and said, I think I'm a hybrid. If they think it and they feel it, then it's probably true. But the only way you know that is through the DNA structure and the cellular structure in their body.
Okay.
Yeah, someone mentioned the Rh negative, but they say a lot of different, albinos, they say that is indicative of, being a hybrid. Redheads, there's all different, there was I remember back in the 80s there was a news article in one of those junk newspapers, and it was saying that Asian people were all derived from an alien race, and it very well could have been. How many things did they put in like the Star magazine, like the gossip magazines? It was probably true, and everyone's laughing at it like, oh, this is a bunch of BS, and it was probably totally true.
Well, you know what it is? That they put something in the Weekly World News, no one's going to believe it, right? That used to have a lot of UFO stories in it. But what happens if they felt the CIA or whatever said, we'll put this in your paper, no one's going to believe it. So they put it in there. It's a true story with a true photo, but no one believes it because it's one of those yellow journalistic newspapers at the checkout counter when you go getting your coffee mate or whatever you're doing,
That's how they do it. They put it in the movies and TV shows, and then, it gets us kind of familiar with the scenario. It's just so weird, like, the things that happen, and, it's just crazy. Like, wow. This is one weird thing, it doesn't really have to do with aliens per se, but I used to have these dreams when I was a teenager about staircases that went to nowhere.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I kept having, and like elevators that went to nowhere, and it was so bizarre. And then one day I was sitting there watching, a TV show, and this is when they first came out about weird places and, haunted places, and it was the Winchester Mystery House in California.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's crazy.
I was born in California. Like, I'm getting chills just talking about it right now. And they're, giving a tour of this house, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my God.
Yeah, really, you can't believe it.
Because, like, I never had any, you know, even being artistic, you know, there's certain things you just don't come up with in your mind. So staircases to nowhere would have just been weird, you know, like I wasn't that abstract of an artist, but
Yeah.
and I was very young when this happened too, but I was like, that was one of those like moments where I was just like, oh wow, wow.
Yeah. Well, speaking of oh wow people, now it's almost 1 o'clock. We're at 68,000. Can we in 5 minutes hit 100,000 likes? In 5 minutes. If we can do this in 5 minutes, that would be great. Because if we don't do it in 5 minutes, I'm gonna have to take you all on a spaceship. I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take you out of your seats, out of your cell phones, out of wherever you're doing right now. You might be sitting on a roof. You might be in a blizzard. I'm gonna take you on a spaceship. We're gonna go for a ride.
That would be
A
nice.
ride that's so far beyond Earth, you're not gonna know what happened. If you're not awake and watching this show, then you're asleep. That's right.
Okay.
Remember that. If you're not awake and watching this show, then you are asleep. Where are you? If you're watching somebody on TikTok with 3,000 viewers, playing a disco ball or lifting a disco ball like it was a weight and making funny noises, then you're asleep. But if you're watching encounters, then you're awake. You see, I have a definition of awake and asleep on TikTok. So I've seen so many things on these TikToks that these Earth-based humans do. So I know the difference between awake and asleep.
Yeah, the definition of content varies vastly.
Yes, it really does. We can certainly tell the difference. Let me see who's in here.
And I feel very out of place here because my content is mostly like photographic because I'm a photographer. So I'm like not quite in the video age, which I need to be better about it. But, I'm like, I just have to do slideshows.
No.
Hey, Flower Power. Peace, love, and light. How are you? Flower Power. She was in the request area. She came on the request area, and so I took her up.
She chickened out.
She chickened out of the commander's screen. We love you anyway,
all right
Flower
if you're
Power.
not ready.
Peace, love, and light, Flower Power. We love you.
Find us next time.
You will eventually come up. I think you were meant to come up, but you didn't realize you were going to come up, and therefore meet a MUFON investigator over the ETXP and told him everything he had in an enclosed envelope. Oh, interesting.
That's awesome.
That's interesting. Wait a minute. Let's see here.
Yeah, after this, I'm going to be watching the new Ancient Aliens episode, which I didn't watch yet because I had to cook dinner instead. So,
yeah, Ancient Aliens, I think, is coming to Connecticut in May. I'm trying to see if I can get up there and meet those people and have them get to. I want them to know who I want everybody to get in touch with Ancient Aliens up at the Warner Theater in Torrington and tell the Warner Theater about CmdrAleon. I want everybody to do this. This is coming up in May. Somebody listening to my radio show told me about Commander. Did you hear about the thing with Ancient Aliens at the Warner Theater? May is a little bit away from now, but I want everybody to tell Ancient Aliens or the Warner Theater about me so I can come up there and bust the Matrix.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I want
to bust the Matrix, and I want to stand there in front of all those people on the stage and say, you don't know me yet, but I am CmdRAleon, the man from Mars. And don't think I'm crazy, because you guys are Ancient Alien guys, and you're dealing with all this subject, so hear me out.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens. Matter of fact, maybe we can get them on our show here if I get to meet them.
It's funny,
that would be nice.
Sorry. I was going to say, you watch that show and then you watch the, scientific shows, and they are finally starting to go together. So
they are. You watch Ancient Aliens when it's on, and then you come and watch CmdRAleon at 11 o'clock at night on TikTok.
You have to experience the realness of it too.
That's right.
Go stand outside and look at the sky. Everyone needs some homework. Go outside and stare at the sky. If it's not clear, do it the next day.
That's right. And I'm going to sing I want to get some people to do some gifting here, but I'm going to sing. How many people want me to sing a final song as we sign off for the night here on TikTok with Encounters? If you would like to hear a song, let me know. I can't tell you what it's going to be yet, but it will be interesting. And it will be related to Encounters. So when you're ready, you tell me, and I'm going to close my eyes, create a song, and we will sing a song together.
Music is always welcome.
Yes, music is always welcome. So here's my song to all the beautiful people that are watching TikTok, Now, that just happened. You see how cosmically I'm so amped up. My eyes like spout out at a green neon light. That was really amazing. See? So I'm going to sing a song for everybody. I do that on my show too. But my songs are related to a message for you. So here it goes. I dream one night I'll go on a flight. I dream one night I will. I dream one night I'll go on a flight, and I will see you still. We'll come together in one. We'll come together in one. We'll come together in one. In love and Christed light. The Christed light is with us always. The Christed light is with us always. The Christed light is with us always. The Christed light tonight is with us always. I want to dream a dream, a cosmic reality. I want to be in the Christed light. That's where I will be. That's my song for tonight.
Nice. My favorite brand, 311, they're always talking about the cosmic consciousness and, taking a trip to space and like nebulas and galaxies. They've got a song called Jupiter. Like, they're the best. I love them. They're very, very like open-minded and positive. Like, they're just one of those bands that like, you don't have to like even have like a drink of a cocktail or anything. You can go see them and just get high from the vibe and the positive and the music vibes.
And I want to say to Pete Starr, my friend in Ireland, Pete, I want to get Laura Eisenhower on my show. So Pete, if you can set up an arrangement for Laura Eisenhower to come on our show, let me know. Message me. Tell me when she's available. Tell her when I'm on, and we'll get her on the show here. Laura Eisenhower would be a great guest on our show. I'm friends with her on Facebook, and so if you can make the connections with her, Laura Eisenhower, we'll definitely talk to her on the radio on this TV program, Encounters. Oh, she wants me on her podcast. Okay, I'll get in touch with her. Laura Eisenhower, if you know who she is. You remember Eisenhower, the Eisenhower? So Laura Eisenhower and I are friends on Facebook. We've been friends for a couple of years. I never really kind of pursued a lot of stuff with her, but she evidently wants me on her podcast. I'm very excited about that.
Awesome.
Okay, I will contact her on Messenger, and I will go on her podcast. I'll be honored to do that. I'll get in touch with her, Pete, this weekend. So there you go. I'm being invited on Laura Eisenhower's podcast. That'll be exciting.
It's funny because one of my favorite memories of growing up, excuse me. Sorry, I've got terrible allergies too already. But me and my friends would sit there and we'd just talk about like the universe and like why were we here and where did we come from, and like those are always my favorite discussions. And then we'd talk about our weird, if we saw any ghosts or aliens or anything like that. Like we'd talk about that stuff. So that was always the topic of discussion. And I don't know, people these days, it's like the last thing they want to talk about. They want to talk about like celebrity stuff or, just nonsense. And I'm like, I need some deep conversations. So I'm so glad I found people like-minded and can just listen to story time for hours and hours.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to continue again over the weekend with a show. I want to thank Jessica O'Day up in Quebec, another place I love, Quebec City. I loved it when I went there in the 70s and hung out on St. John Street. And I want to thank everybody here who's been listening all through the evening. I hope you all have a good weekend. Keep your eyes to the skies and do your Christed meditations to make contact with our space brothers and sisters, because the time is now. Everybody take care. Have a good night.
Take
I'm
care.
CmdrAleon.
Commander.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
the
Bye.
gifts,
for being
everybody.
here.
I'm going to take off in my spaceship. I'll be back on Earth tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Let's see here. Let's do this here. Let me try to do this here. Wait a minute. I'm going to do this one here, and here I am. I am right here. Everybody take care. I want to show you one little thing, a spaceship, a pyramid spaceship. Look at this ship. This is a pyramid spaceship. How's it look? Good night, everybody. Right there, pyramid spaceship. Just looking at this, you should be making spiritual donations. Pyramid spaceship. All right. Enough of that. We are going to say goodnight, everybody. We shall see you this weekend. Take care, and thanks really for watching Encounters, the late night top social media UFO spiritual talk show. Take care. Thanks for the roses, Gail, and everybody. Pete Star, thanks for the roses. Everybody, be blessed.